followers, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending when are you watching. Today, Pedro and I have the pleasure of welcoming a very special guest, Mr. Felipe Sousa-Lazaballet.
Yes.
I said it right?
You said it right.
Oh my God, Lazaballet.
No, I read Lazaballet. It sounds more...
But how you say it?
Well, so I would say either Lazaballet
Okay.
or Lazaballet.
Okay, Lazaballet.
Either way, it sounds like money.
Yeah. And a candidate, he's the candidate for the Florida House of Representative District 42, right?
Yes.
Where's District 42 at? I'm lost in the districts thing.
You know, there's so many districts. It's so hard to keep up. But District 42 includes Belle Isle, Pine Castle, and then it goes up through the downtown Orlando area towards the Executive Airport. Keeps going up all the way through Winter Park, Maitland, and Eatonville.
Oh, see? Okay. Now you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be, he's running for the candidate for the Florida House Representative District 42. Mr. Sosa, welcome. It's a truly pleasure to have you here today with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah,
oh my goodness, thank you.
Not only do we get to know you, but we get to know more about politics. But now we know who we're going to vote for.
Si se puede.
Exacto.
Yeah.
So,
se va a poder.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
For viewers who may be hearing your name for the first time, who is Felipe Sousa-Lazaballet, and why have you decided to run for Florida House District 42?
So I'm Felipe, and I came to the United States when I was 14 years old. And for 15 years of my life, I became undocumented, which meant that I know exactly what it's like to get in a car and not know if that's the last day you're in this country, what it's like to graduate from high school, cross that stage, but not know if you have a future. So I know what it's like to work jobs that many times don't provide dignity. And that created a fire in my heart. Yeah. So as a young person, I joined the immigrant youth movement, and I participated in a movement countrywide that led to the beginning of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which now gave work permits to about 600,000 young people. So I know what it's like when everyday people organize, fight back, and actually can create change. So when Trump became president the second time, I remember sitting in my car. I was getting out of work. I am the executive director of a nonprofit called the Hope Community Center, where we serve 20,000 people every single year. Hope supports mostly immigrants. And I was just sitting in my car thinking, oh my God, we're about to live in this Trump DeSantis world. Yep. And I'm a person of faith. Right. So I prayed and I asked God to use me as a tool for his kingdom in this world. Not knowing exactly what God wanted from me. But literally 2 weeks later, both the chair of the Democratic Party here in Orange County and then the current representative for District 42, Representative Ana Escamani, texted me and asked if I would be willing to run.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, that's somebody actually to ask you. That says a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. But you have to understand that I am not your typical politician.
Okay.
I only voted for the first time in 2022 because I became a citizen in 2021.
Okay.
So for most of my life, I wasn't even allowed to vote.
Right.
So this was out of my realm, right? So I remember I asked them to meet with me at a bakery. Of course, there has to be empanadas involved in the story.
Pastries is my thing. So.
Hello. Yeah. Priorities.
Yes.
So I met with them, and Anna told me that the 3 reasons why she felt strongly that I should run was, one, that I would be accountable to people first. And because I'm accountable to people, then I wouldn't sell out. I would always care more about people than anything else.
Wow.
And the third reason why is because of my immigrant story. Especially in a moment like this, I will be the first dreamer ever elected to the Florida legislature. Yes, I will be the first Brazilian and the first openly LGBTQ plus immigrant.
Wow.
Nice.
Listen, let me tell you something. And not to take away from you, the way all this started is I decided not to go anymore.
Mm.
Okay, and everybody knows that when they see these episodes, we are beyond boundaries. We're very transparent. We talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no limits. And when Samuel came, this all started with Samuel. He came. He just said, "I'm not gonna noise and stuff." I said, "Okay, listen, dude, I don't trust politicians anymore. I'm sorry." And he goes, "Okay, I understand." I was like, "Really?" He goes, "I understand. That's why I'm running." I was like, "Okay, blah blah blah. You know, go tell me what I want to hear." No. I said, "Let me ask you something. I'm not gonna take your time. Why do you understand what I'm going through?" When he told me, which is something similar to you, I was like, "Really?" And lo and behold, history, you know, here where we've had you, we had Johanna, we had him, of course, and this buffet of political people that are running is incredible because you all have the same dream you're sharing. Which is why I feel so motivated, you know, and like, wow, you know, finally we got somebody backing us up.
That's right.
You know, it's incredible. Yeah. So I'm glad. Thank you. You know, thank you, really. You know?
Thank you so much. I mean, I really believe that we need to have a seat at the table. Because when you don't have a seat at the table, you're always on the menu. So when the opportunity came, I knew that it would come with sacrifice and a lot of work. But, you know, I joke around all the time that hard work is my middle name and the only name that I know most people know how to pronounce.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. Let me put on my glasses, but I got my notes over here. You get a certain age, you know. Your career has included nonprofit leadership, immigrancy, advocacy, and 1,500-mile walk.
That's right.
From here to Miami to Washington D.C. Okay, now I'm not comparing you to any movie or anything, but I know Forrest Gump only had one pair of sneakers. How many you went through?
3.
You really went through 3 pair of sneakers.
Yes.
And you walked from Miami, and not doubting you, but from Miami to Washington D.C.
That's right.
But did you confront it? Bad weather?
All sorts of things. So we started it. So everything started back in 2009. Okay. So remember, I used to be undocumented, and I was part of an organization called Students Working for Equal Rights. Okay. And part of our work was to really help dreamers and try to get dreamers out of detention centers when they were detained. And we were trying to get this Bangladeshi girl that grew up here. She was born in Bangladesh. I think she got here when she was 2. She had been arrested for driving without a license. And she was at this detention center in Broward. And she had been there for an entire year already. So we did a protest outside. But understand, a bunch of undocumented kids showing up to the place where they send immigrants, right? Where we get arrested.
Yeah, which is easy, like, hey, open the door, let them in.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we're protesting outside with our caps and gowns, right? And, you know, when you get moved by the spirit, right? So we started chanting, "You're not alone." So she could hear us and feel like she's not alone. And in that moment, we have created sort of like a mock graduation, a mock classroom. We got on the desk and we saw beyond the wall and we noticed that they were expanding the detention center. And immediately that was like cold water in our head, right? We were, oh my God, they're building beds for us. So we went home, 500 of us, super sad, of course. And one of the people in our group had gone to a conference. And when this person came back, he said, "Hey, I really think we need to recreate the Underground Railroad. The idea that one community and the next community will bring people from the south to the north where decisions are made." And my contribution was, let's start on January 1st, 2010, because that would be a new decade. A decade where immigrants get to tell their own stories out of their own perspective. So we marched. And yes, lots of bad weather, including snow, which I was not happy about that. I was not happy about that part. There were lots of anti-immigrants, including the KKK. Yeah, so if you go on YouTube and you look up Trail of Dreams 2010, you will find the 2-3 minute video that includes the KKK. Right. I mean, you name it, right? We faced a lot of challenges, but at the same time, we found so much love. Actually, in the March, I went to the Hope Community Center, which is where I live right now. And I slept on the floor of that community room that's maybe 10 feet away from my office right now. So my life has always been about service. Y'all are from New York, so I think you'll like this, that there was only 3 years of my life that I lived outside of Florida, which was in New York City. Lived in Queens. And I have finally gotten that big professional job, right? And traveling all over the world. And then the Pulse nightclub shooting happened here. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I am trying to save the world, but my own home is on fire. I gotta go back. So I came back, myself and a few other friends, and we raised $2 million to help people who were impacted by the tragedy. And through that process, Mayor Buddy Dyer's office heard about me, and they hired me to oversee all of the services for the people impacted by Pulse. So I worked at the office with the mayor for 5 years. Actually, that's how I met Ana Escamante. But first I met her twin sister, Ida.
I know she has a twin.
Oh, yes. yes. I joke around and I say that Ana is the lightning and Ida is the thunder. Both amazing people. So I did that for 5 years. Then I left and went to work at the Hope Community Center, which is where I currently am the executive director. But yes, I worked on immigrant rights, LGBTQ rights, civil rights, workers' rights, you name it, a little bit of everything.
Wow. So then that experience that you went through, walking all that, plus everything you mentioned, how have those experiences prepared you to serve in Tallahassee?
Well, I think the first thing is common sense, right? Once you listen to enough people, you understand that we're mostly the same. I mean, obviously, we're different, and I value and I love our differences. And at the same time, we're mostly people, and we have the same needs. One of the things that I had to do time and time again is build coalitions. Because to pass bills, you can't just be talking to the people that you already talked to. You consolidate your base, but then you also have to go beyond. So that was how I was able to get DACA done. That's how I was able to get in-state tuition for undocumented youth here in Florida back in 2014 done. And so many other pieces of legislation that I've already been able to do. And currently in my job, I actually work with Republicans all the time. Because Hope is actually in Apopka, which is a pretty conservative place. And I mean, literally just 2 weeks ago, I was meeting with the mayor, Nick Nesta, who is a Republican, about issues that I think we can find common ground on. That's really what has prepared me the most. And obviously, the ability to work within government for 5 years really helped me understand the ins and outs of how government works, how politics works, and then also just being an executive in a nonprofit helps me understand how to manage people, etc.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes sense, and it seems that somebody that didn't just say, "Okay, I'm just gonna do this." Definitely, you can tell you're not doing it for prestige and not for the title. You definitely want to make a difference. So that's how it goes, and I do definitely wish you luck because you're within good company. So that's a good thing about it.
I know.
Rose.
Districts have unique challenges, right? What are the top 3 issues you hear about most from people in District 14?
So we already knocked at almost 17,000 doors. So it is a lot of walking and a lot of talking, but most importantly, a lot of listening. And the number one issue that people in the district have been talking to us about is actually education. A lot of folks are afraid about the school closures, the fact that teachers are not getting paid well. Folks are afraid for their children, right? They want their children to have access to good public education, which makes total sense. So that's how we can actually eliminate poverty, I believe. That is the greatest equalizer. I was born in a slum. My mother only had a 2nd grade education. And nowadays, I am running for office. And so much of that has happened because I had access to good quality education. So that is something that folks are very concerned about. The second is the cost of housing. So I know that this is a big issue, not just in District 42, but right now the average home in District 42 costs about $410,000.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
That is extremely inaccessible to most people. And that keeps coming up as a huge problem and a big problem for a lot of folks. And then finally, public transportation. So we know that if we don't have to pay for a car, imagine.
Yeah.
I know this is probably a foreign situation here, but imagine if you didn't have to pay for a car, for insurance, for gas, and instead you could depend on good quality public transportation. That is money back in your pocket. Not to mention that it's good for the environment and it's good for even building stronger communities, because when you get on a bus, on a train, and you see other people, you're part of a community. When you get in your car and you're driving alone to work, it's not the same.
Nope.
So these are some of the issues that keep coming up.
Okay, wow. Yeah, you mentioned housing, and one of the things I mentioned with Johanna was that it doesn't help that the federal government, has this tariffs with Canada, which is the major supplier of lumber, which is how they build not only houses but everything else. You know, so that having on top of it, you know, we just stuck like between a rock and a hard place right now.
Absolutely, and I do think that one of the things that have happened here in Florida since 2002. So back in the 90s, there was a bill that was passed called the Sadowski Fund. So what it does is an affordable housing fund, and every single time somebody buys a home, there's a stamp. It's only 7 cents. We don't really feel it because we're paying thousands, but it's 7 cents. But every single transaction adds up to millions and millions of dollars. Now, this fund was created specifically so we could have affordable homes. Since 2002, it has been consistently rated. What it means is that the way that the Republican supermajority has been balancing the budget is on the backs of poor people who can afford a home. So instead of building homes, that's what we've been doing. So back in 2022, they reduced from 22% of that fund going specifically to affordable housing to 10%. So less than half, right? We're already in a crisis and that's their solution. Makes no sense. So when you put it into actual pen to paper, it's almost 100,000 houses and homes that did not get built over this period of time. That is actually one of the many things that I want to go advocate for. I really want to go to Tallahassee and actually pass a bill that protects the Sadowski Fund and brings it back to its previous levels.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. Sounds good. It sounds like we voters have to put our minds to work here.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why we wanted to do this. Because a lot of people out there feel like or felt like us in the sense like, okay, they're running and they listen to what you say in the speeches, but when they hear it like this here, they go, yeah, they know this.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad that you're giving us these opportunities to do this. You spoke about affordability, and that's one of the concerns of many Floridians, as you mentioned, and things like that. What specific actions besides what you spoke about would it be to support the health of families dealing with these rising housing insurance and everyday living costs? We did an interview with Ola, Hispanic Office of Latin. Forgot the last.
Local assistance.
Local assistance. There you go.
Yeah.
Local, not Latin. Local assistance. Right.
That was our first interview, right?
No,
Hola. Did you talk to Anna?
No. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
I love Anna.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was our first one actually. First one was bankruptcy law. But anyway.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
digress.
true.
Yeah, I digress. But she gave us a lot of resources in that interview on how it helps our people. So how would that, coincidence with you? You think that that's actually your district area, correct?
It includes.
Yeah,
It's part of
yeah.
it. It's part of it, yes. Well, so yes, absolutely, the Sadowski Fund, which over time it will help us build affordable homes. But we're dealing with an issue today, right? So one other aspect is making sure that we protect renters. So one of the ways that we actually can one day own a home, well, you begin as a renter, right? So we need to make sure renters have real rights. Here in Florida, we basically have so little rights. So what I would like to do is to create a renter's bill of rights, which would allow folks to not have any hidden fees when they rent something. They would get protections against foreclosure, against being evicted, and also against discrimination and even whistleblower protection. So if they say, hey, I'm living in horrible conditions, they don't get kicked out of their house, right? So that's something that I really care about. The second piece is actually holding accountable insurance companies. I own a home, so yay for that. But every single year when I get that letter, a little sweat and a little tear comes down. Well, right now, my insurance costs about $450 a month. That adds to my mortgage. That adds to my mortgage, right? So it makes my monthly payment harder every single year. And a lot of it has to do that there is so little accountability. And sometimes what happens is that big insurance companies, they put money in different smaller corporations that they create to make it look like they're going bankrupt. They're hiding their profits. And then they're coming to us and saying that they cannot pay us out. And one of the other thing that I really believe we need to repeal is that a couple of years ago, the Republicans passed a law that makes it harder for people to actually bring lawsuits against insurance. So oftentimes when you have a claim, insurance companies try not to pay. And the way it used to be before is that if you had a legitimate claim, your legal fees will be paid by the insurance company. Now you have to come up with that money to pay the legal fees. So the so-called reform did not help the little people, it helped the big corporations. So those are some of the things that I really care about, and I think we can bring real solutions to a really big problem that we're facing.
Actually, you're preaching to the choir because, like I mentioned, we had a fight here. We had to wait 3 years.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for GBR public adjusters, they're the ones that helped us. They fought and fought and fought. And they were doing the job from the beginning. It was the insurance company. Okay. 3 years. My mother-in-law died here. Okay. Lucia had cancer. Okay. Through all that time, me with my heart issues, and didn't give not one, you know what?
Well, the truth is that every single month you pay that bill, and then when you finally need it, you believed that you're paying your bills on time, that when you needed it, you'll be there for you, and you wasn't.
No, and the thing is, though, that's the thing, too. You mentioned something about paying bills on time. Not only was the bills being paid on time because it's part of the mortgage, but there was not even one claim within 22 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
This house is like 16 something, 18 years old, something like that. Or more, actually. 22, something like that. So, and all that was on record, and they recognized it, and with that, they still made it impossible. 3 years. Wow. 3 years.
It's inaccessible. It's something that, unfortunately, it's happening to too many Floridians. And if we don't create actual accountability, you will never change.
Anyway.
So we heard already that a lot of people come to you about education. So what are the changes? What you would like to see Florida public schools do changes? What changes, if any, would you like to see in Florida public schools?
Well, the first one is to fully fund public education. I really believe that public education is the true way that we can end poverty, create opportunity. I also think that we need to pay our teachers better. We are 50th in the nation on teacher pay. So say, for example, you're a teacher in Kentucky, in West Virginia, in Alabama. You're going to pay better than here. And let me tell you, it's a lot cheaper to live there than to live here. So when you put that into account, this would even be perhaps even worse, right? Because we're just looking absolute numbers here. So these are just very basic building blocks that need to be addressed first. The third piece about this, in my opinion, is eliminating standardized testing. So right now, when a kid is in school, essentially what's happening is that they're learning a test. They're not learning to think. They're not learning to be creative.
Nothing comprehensive.
No, you're learning to take the test, because when your school don't do well in that test, collectively with all the students, they lose funding. So this is a major, major issue that needs to be addressed. The so-called no kid left behind actually left too many kids left behind. As a matter of fact, most of them live in impoverished neighborhoods that have been underserved and underinvested over many, many years. So instead of actually finding opportunities, they find blocks, right? They find instead of opportunities, they find issues. So this is some of the things that I believe in.
Wow.
Yeah, especially with charter schools and everything else. And I'm not against anything that is separate. I grew up in Catholic school all my life. She grew up in public school. And I say all education is good, but maybe because my wife is a school counselor, you know. But the thing is, though, I don't think it's fair that all these teachers in OCTS are busting the butts, you know, and trying to give your kid, you know, a good education. And here comes this, you know, Joe's charter school gets that funding and takes away kids from the school, and these schools are closing.
Well, the problem is not even that. I mean, yes, that is a problem, but then there's an additional problem, which is when the kid leaves, they leave to a charter school. The charter schools don't have the same standards as a public school.
Exactly.
So oftentimes the kids have to come back to the public schools, but the money doesn't come back. The money stay with the charter school. So now the public school that got defunded will also have to deal with this new kid.
A financial strain.
Exactly. And then they have to try to catch that kid up because the kid is not up to date with their grade level.
And the only way to do that is with resources that they're not funded for.
Correct.
Okay, let me calm down before I start going into a rant. But anyway, go ahead, Rose.
Okay, small businesses are the backbone of many communities, right? How would you help local businesses grow while creating more job opportunities?
I could not agree more. Small businesses play such a huge role in employing so many of our neighbors. My sister owns a restaurant. So I love my sister. I love her so much. She's actually the person who raised me in the United States.
Okay.
But when she got here, she only had $50 in her pocket. And now she's opening her second restaurant.
God bless us.
I know. The first restaurant employs 30 people. So the one that she's about to open is going to employ an additional 20, at least at first. And I'm sure, I mean, like, she's a businesswoman. She's going to make that grow.
Yeah.
What I have seen is that oftentimes small businesses face a lot of red tape. And that red tape makes it so hard for an everyday person, an entrepreneur, to start their business. I think some of that has to be rethought. The other piece is also creating funding programs, not only creating a program, but actually putting money into it that supports entrepreneurs with technical support. How do you do your books? How do you build a business plan? I mean, that doesn't come just, out of nowhere, out of air. Actually, I love Prospera, for example, right? They do incredible work. They got defunded $700,000 by DeSantis. That's ridiculous to me. I know so many local businesses that got so much support from them. So I would want to make sure that organizations like Prospera gets the funding that they need in order to help the local business owner or the person with that great idea to start their business.
This is a topic I'm going to bring up that some people don't like to touch, but I want to touch it. And the reason is because we're used to up north, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. You see the police, even when they don't have a call, patrolling the area. Okay? Here, no. You see them rushing, you see them responding, but when you see them driving, something could be happening and they bypass it. It's like horses with blinders. They're not going on the call.
That's not my call. Exactly.
And at least say, let me pull over, because in up north, if it's not your area or whatever, your precinct, which is not your jurisdiction, okay, listen, I can't do anything, but let me call for the precinct. That's what you do, and then the appropriate vehicles come over to respond and things like that. Okay, here, I've been here since 2011.
Okay.
Not once. And I'm not exaggerating. We in the car all the time. I'm like, where do you see car? This is like my pet peeve, you could say, because I'm like, why? And I'm talking about not Orlando police, but Orlando police and Orange County sheriffs. So, and it's not like I'm picking on one. So, regarding that, public safety is something that everyone cares about. What role do you believe the state should play in supporting law enforcement while also ensuring transparency and mostly accountability? And forgive me that I'm a little tight about it, but I believe that a lot of other crime could be avoided if their presence was around.
I understand. Well, first of all, I think police officers have a really hard job,
Yeah, they
right?
do.
That's without any, it's just the truth.
Mhm.
And I would support funding for better training, that they get the resources that they need, that they get paid well too. Because we have to remember they are our neighbors too. So I believe in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at the same time, I do believe in transparency and accountability. That's part of public safety. I mean, personally, in my opinion, is we are their bosses, right? We're paying our taxes, right? And the idea is that we have an opportunity to, whenever we need them, that they will be there for us. But also, there has to be an ability for us to build trust with them. So let me give you an example of a state law that, in my opinion, makes it hard for people to trust the police, which then makes it harder for them to police, right? So back into 2025, an anti-immigrant law passed called Trump Act, which included a clause that said that counties that operated jail had to enter an agreement with ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement. Now, because DeSantis went into, in my opinion, just lying, to local communities across the state, and then saying that if they didn't sign this agreement, that they even though they didn't need it, they could have people removed from office, their local officials like commissioners and mayors. I know it's ridiculous, but it actually was. It's a thing.
And isn't that called being the bully?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So then what happened? A lot of these local communities, including OPD, including the sheriff's department, signed this 287G agreement. Now, immigrants are afraid to call the police, even when they're a victim of a crime, even when they witness a crime. And then as a result of that, all of us are less safe.
Yeah.
Because community trust is how we actually build true policing. I mean, like, basically, it's our homes, right? We're watching out for each other. The second piece that I really believe in is, I think that some 911 calls need to be, we need to send mental health counselors, not necessarily police officers, right?
I agree with that.
Somebody's having a mental crisis or issues related to that, and somebody with a gun is not necessarily the best way to solve that issue.
Yeah, right. I agree.
And then finally, the other piece that I truly believe is that anti-poverty programs is the best way to combat crime. Most crime happens because people are poor and they can't make ends meet. So things like SNAP, other efforts, or rental assistance helps people stay at home, stay in good conditions, and then they're less likely to commit a crime. Now, I think that it's a conjunction of all of these efforts that makes us safer. But I agree with you that transparency and accountability needs to be at the center of it all.
Yeah. I was raised by a caring father, but also strict. And what you're saying, I can maybe understand. And why I say maybe is because I was taught if something is becoming difficult in your life, you just don't go into a life of crime. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. It was always Catholic school. My father had to work not 8 hours, not 10, but 14 hours to pay our tuition plus everything else. Okay? Now, why can't other people do that? I myself had not one, but two, but three jobs, even though my first job was paying very, very well. I had a part-time where I was super in my building, so I didn't pay rent or anything else, right? And then I had a part-time job working security for 4 nights a week. Now, again, my first primary job paid very well. So why did I have those two jobs? To progress faster. Other people could do the same thing, and I just find that, people commit crimes, it's kind of just like in the form of being lazy.
Well, I mean, I think opportunity does help me. One, I agree with you that hard work is great. I mean, I'm a hard worker myself. Like you mentioned, your dad. I remember my mom was a domestic worker back in Brazil.
Okay.
So I remember she would wake up about 5 a.m., go to work, go to 3 different jobs, show up at midnight, and then cook. so we will have food, right, for the day, because she wasn't gonna be there during the day because she would be working. And then I would wake up at midnight to just hang out with her, so I could be with her for a little bit. So I come from a long line of really hard workers, yes. Yeah. And but I also know people who are in really hard situations and struggling, and desperation sometimes add to desperate measures.
I can understand.
It's not an endorsement.
Right.
It's just understanding, because I think we have to also meet some of these difficult issues with compassion.
Right. Okay, but then real quick, I'm not going to take away from Rose's question, but the thing is though, okay, if I have a choice between learning how to speak English than hanging out with my friends, I'm going to learn how to speak English. Because that's how I'm going to move forward. And I find that with the resources available, because I know 2 people right now that are friends of ours, and they're making an effort to learn English, okay, because they want to move forward. They don't have resources, but they got the classes for free because they found a place. So I think that if people just try harder, they can move forward more.
No, I mean, again, I agree with you that effort is needed, right? And at the same time, I just think that it's important for us to also have compassion and having programs like the one that you're talking about, right? Because that's not free.
Yeah.
Somebody's paying for it.
Yeah.
It's free to them, but somebody's, either the organization got a grant or the school has a grant from the state. These programs could go away if funding changes, right? So right now there's this whole conversation about property taxes, right? And if we completely eliminate property taxes, then a lot of the things that we enjoy, like clean water, or even when you go to the bathroom and you flush, where does that go? So all of that costs money.
Right.
And our local governments are, including policing and fire, etc. They need these resources, right? So we have to really think about how do we create programs like the ones that your friends are now in to create opportunity.
Okay.
Okay, so you got elected.
Yay!
We won. How will you stay connected to your constituents? Did I say that right?
Yes.
That's a big word. That's a Sunday word.
Wait, is that a word for the day?
That's the word for the day. Constituents. Instead of only hearing from them during... Okay. Will you stay connected to your constituents instead of only hearing from them during election season?
Ooh.
Yes. So I actually am a community organizer, and community organizers believe in building relationships, and relationships that outlast just one specific moment, right? So how would I actually do that? One, having town halls, and town halls in different places of the district, right? Not just in one place. Also having actual office hours where people can come, make appointments, and list and talk, right? So I could listen, so I could learn. This is the thing. You have to be humble.
Yes.
You don't know everything. How can you represent? How can you actually try to make life better for the people that you're representing if you don't listen to them? So, and the only way that you're able to truly achieve that is if you do it on purpose. So, I mean, even in this campaign, the fact that I am so committed to knocking doors is so I can hear directly from voters. That is always my first. So my little pitch goes with, "Hi, I'm Felipe. I'm running to be your next state representative. What's happening in your life that you think I should be fighting for?" And I get quiet and I listen.
Nice. I'm going to do what I have.
Well, actually, with your record so far, I don't doubt that you're gonna derail from that at all, because it's kind of like part of you, part of your DNA.
Yeah.
It's literally who I am. There are. It's true. Like, I love how you said it's actually part of my DNA.
Yeah.
I just do not know how to be any other way.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's being humble.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yes, it is.
All right. So, where am I?
9.
Politics today often feels divided. How will you work with lawmakers? So you mentioned you speak with Republicans already before, who strongly disagree with you in order to get meaningful legislation my word.
Well, I always say the following. I might not agree with you 90% of the times, but if we agree 10% of the times, let's work on those 10% things, whatever that is. Because the goal is to make life better, right? We have the way I think about policy making and the way I think about what it means to represent, right? Call me naive, but my whole purpose is to change the concrete conditions of people's lives. I want people to have a better life. How am I going to do that if I don't find a way to work with people who think different than me? So part of this process is understanding that I am going to go to Tallahassee and there's 120 people. Many of them do not see the world the way I see it. But I know that their constituents, for the most part, are going to be dealing with issues with housing. They're going to be dealing with issues with infrastructure. So are my constituents back in District 42. And I want to work with them in finding common ground and common solutions.
Finding a happy medium. Okay, great. Nope.
Okay, every elected official eventually faces a difficult vote where there isn't any answer. What principles would guide your decision when your constituents, again, have different opinions?
I absolutely love that question. So first of all, I love to listen, right, and understand, and that will always be my commitment. But really what drives my my decision making will be really three things, right? I will call them values, right? The first question is, does this make life better for my constituents? Question number one. Question number two, does this make sense to this budget? Because, things cost money. So being fiscally responsible is part of the job. And then the third part is, gotta be compassionate. I really believe in compassion. And compassion is putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Really, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, right? I am not you. I am not you. So for me to understand you, I have to listen and try my best to put myself in your shoes. So once you put those three things together, I do believe you can make the best possible decision. It might not be the perfect decision, because like you said, it's a difficult choice, but it will guide me towards the right place.
Okay. Well, definitely not us, but I'm good looking. Not that you're not. It's hard to be me. So,
you live a really hard life.
Yeah, my mirrors don't lie. Looking 4 years ahead, where you're gonna end up growing gray hair like all politicians too, maybe some Botox or something to look younger, What compliments would you make you feel truly earn another turn?
Well, so I am already getting some white hairs just from this campaign. So
but it's earned.
It's called knowledge.
Yeah.
It's called knowledge. I love that. Yes. Well, I think first of all is being committed to constituent services. So part of the job is actually helping constituents deal with state agencies. I believe the government could be an actual tool for good.
Okay.
And being able to help people navigate really difficult situations, something that I feel really passionate about. Secondly, like I said before, to find ways to actually bring resources back to the district, right? Whether that is to get better roads or better infrastructure so we don't have to be dealing with flooding all the time, as examples. And then passing legislation whenever possible to change people's lives.
Okay.
We're almost close to the end, and we're going to get, a little bit personal here.
Yeah.
And
let's get real personal.
Let's get personal.
What's one book, podcast, not us, but or person that has influenced?
It is our podcast.
That has influenced your leadership style?
I would say 3 different people, okay? So, one, okay, I'm gonna give you like a little, don't make fun of me.
No,
but my mom, my mom taught me hard work. She taught me what it means to actually be resilient. You have to understand, my mom was a single mom with 3 kids. living in Brazil as a domestic worker. We were living in a slum. And she taught me that I could dream, that I could push myself, that I can overcome anything if I work hard. And that will stay with me forever. The second person is actually my sister. So my sister, when she was 18 years old, like I said, we were from a very humble beginning. She told us, I'm leaving, I'm going to the United States, I'm breaking the cycle of poverty. You have to understand that for us, it was the same as saying, I'm going to Mars, right? So we're like, you're going where? How are you going to get there? You're going on a plane? All these things, right, that were just not possible for us. She had a vision. She got here. After her journey, she only had $50 in her pocket. And she built an entire life. And before she left, she told me, by the time you're 15, I'm bringing you to the United States so you can learn English, so you can have opportunities. And that's exactly what she did. Wow. So I am only who I am because of these two incredible women. And the third person is Sister Ann Kendrick. So Sister Ann is one of the founders of the Hope Community Center. And I love Sister Ann. She is in her 80s. And one of the things that she talks to me a lot about is about listening to people. Listening to people who are directly impacted. And then actually having the courage to match their courage so we can actually create a better world. Those three people really are incredible to me. They're examples, and I try my best to follow their example.
Is your mom still alive?
She is.
I must imagine her feeling so great, like, wow, look at them.
She's so incredible. My mom...
Is she in Brazil?
She lives in Brazil. She lives in Brazil. When I decided to run for office, I called her. And I said, Mom, I'm thinking about running for office. And, she's used to me coming up with some big idea and going for it, right? But then she said, my son, don't forget, we came from dust. And that stayed with me because it is true. We came from a place that didn't have a lot of opportunities. And then now that little kid, that little person can actually make a world of difference. And if elected, I will be fighting for the Felipes out there, for the people who are just like me, who are just like my mom, people who are working hard and having just such a hard time, just trying to get to the next level. And I just want to be that person. I want to be a bridge.
Beautiful. Wow. At one time, Rose wanted to become a nun.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. See, a nun also was in his life.
I wanted to be a priest at one time. No joke.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But then I experienced my first kiss, and that went out the window.
That happens.
I'm still on that road.
Yeah.
You're still.
But I also experienced the kiss, but I'm still on the road.
Yeah, definitely. All right. We're getting there to the end.
Don't cry.
No. When you're not campaigning or working, what's something you enjoy to do, when you're relaxing?
Okay. I love hanging out with my husband, Luis.
Okay.
We spend a lot of time together watching YouTube videos.
Okay. Like Beyond Boundaries?
Yes. Beyond Boundaries. Hello, we're always watching. We also love this channel called Mr. Ballin, and it's just horror stories. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
Horror stories.
Yes.
You don't know. I told her because we were singing church, and everything. I'm like, wait a minute. One day, if she's floating in the air, I'm out. Because she loves watching these movies.
Well, and then we also have two dogs, Cosito and Papito.
Okay.
Yes, the two of them are the best. I love playing with them, hanging out with them. And whenever possible, I haven't had a lot of time, but whenever possible, I absolutely love the beach.
Oh,
okay.
I
like beaches.
St. Augustine, I love it.
I'm afraid of beaches and because of the
sharks.
The sharks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat here, though.
You're hilarious. Maybe you can just go put your little
No, then I come like. Well, guys, you see,
he's normal.
Felipe is a normal guy.
Normal.
We don't have nothing suspicious here.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have, like I said earlier, a buffet of all these politicians that really care and they really
when we were with in the in the caravana.
Yeah.
That you came running. I'm going, who was that? He must be somebody.
He probably was coming back from
And I'm going, like,
Washington,
who's
D.C.
that? And Pedro goes, I don't know. And so, okay, we need to know who he's at. Because he came running.
That's so
and then
funny.
when you did the introduction, you go, he's running.
Samuel literally running figuratively and
But Samuel spoke about you before, so he already wanted us to meet.
Very cool, very cool. Well,
but now we know the name and the face goes together.
You know what happened with the caravana was the caravana was around here, and you know it's far away from where I'm running. So I had a bunch of events that I had to attend first, but I still wanted to come and support.
Right.
So I just came as fast as I could.
You got it just in time.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, finally, what would you like voters? Okay, this is what would you like your voters in District 42 to remember most about Felipe Sousa-Lazaballet when they head to the polls, when they go voting?
That's it. What I want them to know, what I want you to know is that I am committed to your future, that I am going to fight for you day in, day out, and also that I will always be there for you, listening to you and trying to help you solve some of your issues.
Beautiful.
I really believe it. I really do. I'm not saying that. One thing you'll get to know of us is that if I doubt something or whatever, I'm going to challenge it. I'm going to say, really? Okay, tell me. But it's been hard because I haven't been able to challenge. I've been interviewing people and I've had hard questions, but basically the notes we've been taking, I'm like, everybody's sincere. Everybody's been giving us, exactly what we want to hear, but not what we want to hear. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're not trying to pacify us. Nobody is trying to pacify anybody here. So I'm like, okay, great. So we're lucky. We're blessed.
Yeah, we are. Especially, I want to thank you.
Yeah.
Because, I get to meet you. I get to know you. I get to know about you. And you teach me, because I'm not into politics. I like I told Pedro and Joanna and Samuel, I voted because my father said, you're a Democrat, go vote for Democrats. You don't know who it is, just vote Democrat. That's it. So, and today there's a lot of people in the ballots. I don't know who they are.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, the only way to know is to go into the computer and let me tell you something by their face. I could read, this looks like an honest person. This doesn't look like, I think I'll vote for this one.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
And that's without judging a book by its cover.
Exactly.
What you know.
But now we have met people, we have heard people, so we know, okay, I know this one, I'm going to go vote for this one.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I learned.
Yeah.
So Felipe, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with Pedro and me today. We truly appreciate the opportunity to hear your stories, to learn more about you, your journey, and better understand the vision you have for District 42 and for people of Central Florida. To everyone watching, we always encourage you to stay informed, ask questions, and participate in the decisions that affect your community. Felipe, we wish you the very best as you continue your journey. And once again, thank you for being with us. And good luck and go vote. Yep. Do you want to say something to your Brazilians or your Spanish? Are there people here?
Yes. Well, first of all, if folks want to learn more, they can come to my website, felipeforflorida.com. And I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, you name it, X. Por la comunidad latina, muchas gracias por la oportunidad. Estamos juntos en esta lucha para un mundo mejor. De verdad, nuestro voto es nuestra voz. Y cuando nosotros nos quedamos en la casa, dejamos esta voz en la casa. Y necesitamos nuestras voces en las urnas. Cuando una persona no vota, otra persona votará y votará no pensando en lo que tú necesitas. O sea, es necesario más que nunca estar involucrado. E para a comunidade brasileira, muito obrigado pelo apoio, por amor, por tudo que vocês fazem. Mas aqui também deixo a mesma mensagem, que é sumamente importante que a gente saia a votar. Mais que nunca, as nossas vozes, as nossas vidas estão naquelas urnas. Então, tô pedindo para que vocês saiam a votar mais que nunca. Muito obrigado.
Oh,
That sounds sexy.
I know the last part was thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
The contractor that fixed the house. The contractor that fixed the house. He's Brazilian.
What?
Yeah, we had a priest that was Brazilian. He passed away, but we called him perezoso because he was real swell and talking. We were like, well, guys, thank you so much. Remember, share, like,
Go ahead.
I don't remember.
Subscribe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Subscribe. Follow.
Comment.
And remember, we're in TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Threads, Spotify.
That's it.
We're on all those places. Okay.
Now, with every episode, we end it with Rose ringing the bell for subscribing to me, people. So you're gonna ring that bell, but ring that bell. Don't.
Yeah, ring my bell.
Very careful. Ring it. Yeah.
Go, people.
Take care. God bless.